Welcome to the Heating Installer Awards 2020 winners announcement, a little bit different this year. As many of you will know, usually we'd hold this announcement at the main plaza during Installer 2020, but we didn't want to keep you waiting until December, so today we'll be announcing the winners live via our online channels. At a time when many of you are having a very tough time and facing much uncertainty, we thought it was really important to keep those awards going to celebrate the fantastic work carried out by heating installers all over the country, which has been showcased by all of those shortlisted, and provide some welcome good news for the winners. For anyone who's not come across these awards before, the Heating Installer Awards was established 5 years ago to celebrate the achievements and raise the credibility of plumbers and heating installers who deliver top quality work and excellent customer service on a daily basis, showcasing the superstars of the industry who often go unnoticed. As well as the usual regional categories, this year there are more chances to win than ever before, as the Heating Installer Awards launched 2 brand new categories. The Rising Star Award, which was created especially for budding apprentices to recognise those who are still in training but are already working hard to achieve high standards, and the Most Sustainable Installer category, which recognises those who are doing everything they can to minimise the impact of their work on the environment. The awards are completely free to enter and give installers the chance to showcase their work to potential customers. What's more, there's a prize bundle worth over £10,000 on offer for the finalists, including a trip to Danfoss's HQ in Denmark for the national winner. To be in with a chance of winning, installers had to submit an entry into their chosen category back in February. A panel of 10 expert judges then scored all of the entries anonymously at a judging day which took place in early March. This gave us our 9 regional winners, as well as a shortlist of 5 for each of the 2 new categories. Over the past 8 weeks, the finalists have been drumming up votes and also taking part in various technical challenges, the scores of which have now all been combined to reveal 1 national winner, 1 runner-up and 1 Rising Star winner, and 1 Most Sustainable Installer winner. This year, the awards saw an increase in entries by over 50%, making it the most competitive year ever, and the public vote also received almost double last year's number of votes, so it really has been an exciting year. So welcome to the Heating Installer Awards 2020. Now, the running of the Heating Installer Awards relies on the support of some much valued partners from across the industry. Normally, we'd have a chat on stage with those partners before actually announcing the winners. Well, today is actually no different. Just because we aren't all in the same location doesn't mean we can't get together to have a chat. And I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by representatives from Danfoss, Glowworm Polypipe and the CIPHE, as well as the national winner from 2 years ago, Sean Scott, and Joe Sharp, who is Head of Content for Installer. Guys, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Lovely to see you all. Give us a bit of a thumbs up or a wave so we know you can hear me, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Sean, let me come to you first, if I may. Just going back 2 years, what did it mean to you to win the national title, the award, as it were, and how has it impacted your business since?
The best thing about it is it shows you that you are doing the right thing, you're going that bit further. It's good to get recognition for it. It makes you want to do more, if you know what I mean. The way it's impacted the business has been great, especially in times like this where work's going to be tight, people are not going to be spending money. It gives you an edge on somebody else if there's not much in it, because for some reason, if you've an award behind you, they know you're trustworthy. Whereas, nowadays, nobody even speaks to their neighbour, so they don't know who to get if they have an emergency. Whereas if you have an award behind you, they go, oh, well, he must be good, so we'll try him first. Or if you've done a price and there's nothing between you, they'll go with you.
And people do business with people they like, I mean, generally speaking, and people they trust. I guess that's what you've been finding.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it is now down to quality work, but also you need a personal touch nowadays, especially with my generation. They want a personal touch. They want somebody that will speak to them, explain things through with them, will work around other people's schedules. It's just the way the industry is changing.
And when you've gone on site to a job, how are you finding the social distancing with customers? Because I was talking to a guy who's an RAC man the other day, for instance, and he was saying he's had people who just won't step away. They're trying to watch what he's doing in the car. How have you found it with what you've been doing?
I actually find the younger generations are very good with it. The older ones are actually the worst, because I'm not sure if they don't understand or...
Who are you categorising as older? Be very careful how you answer this.
But they've lived through harder times, so they maybe don't see this as an actual issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we've managed. I generally ask people to leave the room or go into another room. We make it clear on the phone before we arrive. But a lot of the work we've been actually doing is empty properties. We're doing work at a nursing home just now. They're away. It's been offline, and they're away to put it back on. So it's been drained down for 2 years. So we've been turning the water back on because they're needing more nursing homes again, because they're having to split people up.
Right. And tell me something, because I'm interested by this. You know, I guess most of the business is done by people are paying by card, but if people are paying by cash, how difficult is that for you to accept? Because do you wash every note and coin or whatever? I mean, how does that work?
To be fair, we haven't really been paid much in cash in a long time. It's generally banks transfer.
So for any tax men watching this, it's okay, he's straight.
Aye, that was the right answer. Generally, if we do take it, you have to be sensible. You'll get the same disease picking up a tin of soup at the supermarket that somebody else has picked up. Yeah. Generally, we just push everyone to use banks or a similar money transfer.
And of course, you know where they live and they won't be leaving, so you can always go.
Well, that's very true.
And let me ask you one final question. You were the winner in 2018. Seems a long time ago now with all this lockdown.
Yes, yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, how was the trip to the Danfoss HQ in Denmark? A, do you remember anything about it? And B, if you do, how was it for you?
That trip could only be described as legendary. Everything about it, the social aspect, what they showed you. We went into the original Danfoss founder's house, still as it was.
Wow.
Just from every aspect, from professional learning to just experiences to the social side, was absolutely brilliant. And I just, what happens on tour stays on tour, sadly.
What goes on tour stays on Facebook, I think, these days, doesn't it? But, well, look, thank you and congratulations again. And the winner today, when it's announced later on, can look forward to that trip as well, courtesy of Danfoss. Let me ask, Gareth, let me come to you if I may. You're marketing and technical support manager at Danfoss, and this is the 4th time you've actually sponsored the awards. What did you think of the Rising Star category? What was your opinion of that?
It's great to see some recognition now for the guys that are starting to come into the industry and just beginning their careers. And the standards were incredibly high. So it's really, really good to see some of the passion that's now shown by the guys that have entered it at such an early stage of their career. They're really into what they're doing and keen to develop and learn, and huge commitment shown. So really good.
That's great, and passion is important. I wonder, I'm not casting aspersions on your age here, but would you say that the passion and so on has grown? You were saying how much, how impressed you were with the level of it and so on. Would you say that over the years it's got bigger in terms of passion and the commitment and drive and so on?
I think absolutely. I think that there's been a huge change in the industry, certainly from what I've seen over the last couple of years, that guys really do take pride in what they're doing. And you could say that heating engineers and probably more generally plumbers back in the day were always given quite a bad rep. It was always a bit of a joke, but the professionalism now that you see is fantastic, and the pride in the industry, it's really visible to see now.
And do you think the public's perception has changed quite a lot then? Because, there'd always be that perception, oh, he's going to come around and go, it's going to cost me a lot of money. But actually, that professionalism has changed that perception and making it a far more realistic, I guess, profession. actually?
I think, yeah, absolutely. I think so. And I wonder if, social media has maybe played a part in this now, where
Yeah.
it's much easier for guys to showcase the great work that they do and to, really sell themselves to end users and householders in that way.
And by contrast, actually, you have to do a good job because of social media. What goes on tour stays on tour. Well, not anymore, because that can be out there within seconds and you've got a bad reputation. So it's really important you keep your standards up. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Dave, your national key account manager for underfloor heating at Polypipe. This is the third time you guys have sponsored the Heating Installer Awards. And why do you think it's such a good thing for the industry? Otherwise, I mean, I guess you wouldn't do it and keep doing it. Why do you think it's such a good thing for the industry?
I think, as Gareth's just intimated, we've got Polypipe as a business are trying to engage a lot more with installers, engineers. It's a big part of our plan moving forward. The underfloor team in particular, we're looking for, again, Gareth mentioned it, the social media savvy type younger engineer who puts his profile on social media, he puts his work on social media, he promotes it in that way and on that platform. There are a lot of guys now who are really proud of what they do.
Yeah.
We want to encourage them and be associated with this type of engineer and installer. We've got a great training facility. Unfortunately, it's not like the Danfoss facility. It's over in Doncaster. So
It begins with a D, though. I mean,
it's a great night out though, on a Thursday night especially. So the guys can do a BPEC accredited course specifically on underfloor heating, and we look after them on the night out. We take them for a few beers and a meal, but more importantly, we get to know them. They get to know us. They meet the guys that do the designs. They get to meet the trainers, and they get hands-on experience with the product.
And actually, it's a very interesting point you make there. They get to meet these people, because even if this is now the new kind of way of working, I still don't think you can beat a face-to-face sort of, I don't say shaking hands, but hitting elbows or whatever, to actually to further a relationship. Really important.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think the guys, a name to a face is great, but to actually meet somebody face to face, to get to know a little bit more about them, to look at their work, to get to know what their interests are. And we've got a registered heating engineer network currently, with over 500 installers on it.
Right.
And our plan moving forward through the next couple of years will be to grow that network with the right kind of installer and have regular events, get to meet them on a regular basis and get them involved in product innovation.
Brilliant. And innovation, I think, is one of the key words, isn't it, going forward? And the younger element, dare I say it, and I won't count myself as younger, but they are innovative and want to get the next thing and get on to the next bit of tech or whatever it might be. I've got to say, I visited Doncaster to your place because I did a video about 3 or 4 years ago, and we were filming. We had to stop filming because we heard this sound outside on the road. It was in the showroom going, da 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 da.
The sandwich van.
The back van. The back van.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's a Batman tune. And I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, they're still there. They still come. They still come. Same sandwiches. Not killed anyone yet, so it's great.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dave. Right, Graham Parks, Northern Regional Sales Director at Glowworm. I want to come to you now. Graham, the award introduced. The awards has introduced as a new category, the most sustainable installer this year. How did you find the quality of entries of that?
It were actually outstanding. I expected that we'd get entries of people who've got electric vans, or
yeah,
I don't know, the two of them travelled in a van to one job or something. But the actual commitment to sustainability would just. I've been involved in sort of renewables and low carbon since 2000, and you tend to think that most people don't care about it, but you read some of these, and it was like the entire business was set up to save on sort of embedded carbon in every job they did, and for me, we all talk about it, that everything in the world now is trying to get more sustainable, but these guys are in my world living the dream that I can't do all the time, So no, for me, it far outstripped what I expected. And even the guys who may not have won, they went further than I'd have expected them to go to win it. So yeah, so it was fantastic.
And was there any particular that you noticed about the profile? You know, was it a certain age group? Was it a younger age group? Because that tends to be a big thing amongst the younger age group as well. They're taking it, I think, probably slightly more seriously than the older age group, like I count myself in.
Yeah, I think what you found was that it was easier, not easier, but the bigger outfits could go further because they could plan better. You know, the guys, if there's just, and it tends to be the younger guys, if there's just one or two of them, they can make certain steps, but they can only go so far because it depends where you're working. So the guys who can do the more expensive jobs, because there's a big cost and commitment to being sustainable. You know, you can't forget that. It's like everything from, if you're driving an electric car, it's not as easy as driving a petrol car. So there's a big commitment to that. So that some of the younger guys were doing as much as they could, which is all you can ever do. You know, as long as, even if it literally is down to planning your route so you're not driving further than you can, it's a start. And I think that what you've got to understand is these younger guys are the pioneers that in future will become the bigger guys that are totally sustainable. And
do you think, sorry to interrupt you, do you think other people will look up to them and have an aspirational aspect of it, thinking, right, do you know what, actually, yes, it may cost a bit of money, but it's really important to do this, particularly after everything we've been going through. I mean, the planet is almost saying to us with this whole COVID thing, you know, you need to respect the planet a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think people notice that. The other thing is that as you see these guys, the successful guys that are doing it, it means that you don't have to be cheap to be sustainable. You know, you can still get business and be sustainable. And then from that, hopefully, then it becomes a selling point of, yeah, if you use me, I also am, you know, kinder to the environment than the next guy. And I think when that comes in, yeah, so you can actually create business from being that sustainable guy.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you for that. Tim Sainty, you're the membership director at the CIPHE, and this is the first year that CIPHE has been involved in the awards. Just in case, actually, there's anyone who's not sure, I'm sure everybody knows, but just in case someone out there doesn't know of CIPHE, just tell us, what does it stand for and what does it do, firstly?
The CIPHE stands for the Chartered Institute of Plumbing and Heating Engineering.
That's quite a big business card, isn't it, if you write it out fully?
It's quite a lengthy card. I've got a fold-out one. But we are an educational charity that our charitable purpose is for the benefit of the safety and health of the public. Right. We're also an industry professional membership body. We're one of 30 something, I really should know, but it's 30 something professional engineering institutes, which means that we have a relationship with the Engineering Council, and members of ours are therefore also able to be registered with Engineering Council as technicians, incorporated and chartered engineers. Actually, those roles are both quite critical in the decision that we took in order to become involved with the event from the outset, because of course our reason for being, if you like, is to celebrate quality and success and professionalism. And
yeah, I was going to ask you, sorry to interrupt you, why there were lots of schemes out there, why was it particularly the Heating Installer Award that you chose to support as opposed to the others that are out there?
You're right, there are others out there. There are indeed others that we support at an educational level, with recognition of apprenticeships, for example. But this event does stand out as a mark of quality. I've seen the previous winners. No flattery intended, Sean, but I've looked at the background of those and the roles that they have performed. So that was a part of the process, and indeed, as a look at the group around the meeting here today, that includes representatives from organisations within the industry that the Institute already has its own particularly strong relationships with.
Yeah.
And so that was all a part of the process for us. And so once Refresh asked us to become involved, really, it was a no-brainer for us.
So you're the membership director.
I am.
Targets? No, I'm not going to ask you targets.
Well, you know, tough right now. Let's say that I'm glad that our membership start date is the 1st of January, which is not intended to be dismissive of circumstances or anything like that. But if our membership start date was the 1st of April, for example, perfectly reasonable one to have because it's the start of the new financial year for many, then we would be looking at a particularly tough time because people within the industry are looking at particularly tough times. And so we are resetting our objectives to be aware of the environment within which we're operating, but we're also not turning off, no pun intended, but no, we're also not turning off the tap for the support that we're providing for people who have been long-standing members but are also going through a challenging period. So there's no withdrawal of support or withdrawal of membership at this time.
No, thank you. It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think we're noticing as people, we're kind of changing and becoming much more, I think a lot of people are becoming more tolerant. And, you know, if someone says, how are you? Actually, people are starting to mean, no, how are you? And organizations and companies and so on are out there to try and help people. They don't want to lose customers. They don't want to lose people. You know, they don't want people to go bust or whatever because they won't get their money ultimately. But actually, it's a question of, you know, it's a horrible phrase, but we are all in this together, and you know, who knows how it's going to go. And it's important.
This one might not make the edit suite, but make it past the edit suite. But I've had in mind for some time that I hated the phrase at the time, but David Cameron had this big society agenda at one time, didn't he? And I thought it was passing the buck somewhat. But actually, right now, you can say that membership bodies and actually organisations that are manufacturers and big businesses that are here today, that they all have a part to play in a supportive big society that cannot just be dependent upon the role of government, etc. Also, I've been this close to writing something about it, but it's very, very borderline. Don't want to be seen to be writing something about the virtues of membership, which then looks like it's taking advantage of difficult circumstances that people are in, because that's not what it's about. It's about that element of support.
Well, write it and put someone else's name on it. That's the
David Kirk.
Yeah, no, I'm glad. No one's ever heard of me. It doesn't matter. That's fine. I'll take that. Joe, look, thank you very much indeed. Joe, you've been listening to all of this, and I guess actually you're probably sitting there with Installer thinking, I'm glad we went online. I'm glad we went sort of bi-monthly as well. If you'd still been printing every month, it would have been tough for you guys. But I just wondered, just specifically talking about the awards, looking back over the 5 years it's been, this is the 5th year, how much have you seen it grow from the beginning? I mean, it's just looking at the quality now, it's extraordinary.
Yeah, it's been great. It's one of the highlights of the show for us. It's one of the highlights of the year for the industry, I think. And every year it gets better and better and better. And all the previous winners, they stand out. They're really good engineers. They're respected by other engineers. They're very respected by industry. They're respected within their community. So that's how you know that they're getting it right. And it's the same with all the regional winners as well. All the regional winners in all of their areas are the cream of the crop for that area. They go above and beyond, like we've mentioned, especially in times like this when heating and hot water and clean water and making sure your shower's still working and your toilet's flushing is so important. And these people are going out every day and doing the job to the best ability that they can. And it's great to shine a light on that.
Yeah, and I wonder, just from an editorial standpoint, what impact it's had on you, all of this pandemic we've been going through, if that's been a big challenge, so to speak.
Yeah, it has. I think we were talking about it all earlier just before we kicked off the recording, but it's changing kind of the way the whole world's working. And manufacturers and trade bodies and trade journals and all of that have had to adjust. But it does also highlight the support that the industry has. We've all come together. We've worked with the CIPHE to get links to government. We're working with engineers like Sean to get feedback on what they need. We're working with manufacturers to help roll things out, information and training that installers can use on their downtime, or for the ones that are still going out and working, ways that they can do that safely. So it's really good. The heating and plumbing industry, when it comes together, is really, really impressive.
Good. Yeah, I think it is. And, hopefully next year we'll be in or December, we'll be in a venue all together and enjoying an elbow nudge and whatever, and maybe a drink, who knows, or a coffee or whatever. But it's been great, guys, to have you, and thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for all the support that you've been giving and continue to give. It's really fantastic. Now, I've got a couple of questions before we end this, though. Since all the video, since this whole thing's been going on, we're in the middle of May now, video conferencing has become really popular in the last few weeks. There's a new game called Top Half, Bottom Half, because I can see all the top halves. And if I was asking you to all stand up, I wonder what would happen. Don't do it, okay? Don't do it. Just be very careful. I don't know if you've seen any of the things on YouTube. Some very funny stuff out there, which is extraordinary. Just have a look at embarrassing moments on video conferencing. But actually, on a serious note, I wondered, and just take it in turn, whoever wants to go first. And here we are, as I say, in the middle of May, and I wondered if there's anything you're secretly enjoying about the lockdown, or anything you might have learned that's new. Who'd like to pick that up?
Well, I can't say that I'm enjoying double maths with my children, but we're persevering with it and we're being successful. But actually, we talked about it earlier on. This is a time where it reminds you to spend more time with the people who matter the most, and I'm as guilty probably as everyone else around here of 9 till 5 becoming 8 until 6, becoming 7:45 until 6:30, etc., etc. And so yeah, having some time at home and not spending quite so much money and quite so frivolously as it's a small thing that's come out of a very difficult situation.
Yeah, no, great, thanks. Who else would like to pick it up? You don't have to if you don't want to, but I just thought
I totally agree. It just, in this times, it proves you don't need a lot to be happy, and be happy with what you have got, and spend time with the people that mean something to you, because you're not getting the chance now. But sometimes you need, the famous saying, sometimes you need a kick in the bum to sort things out, and it's maybe will change us how we socialise, what we do, and all that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Anybody else?
Yeah, I enjoy that there's less, we live near the countryside, but it's not near enough to be no people around, and it's quite nice when you get out and about that there's not as many people. You hear nature. It's like in the morning there's no traffic, so you hear like the dawn chorus all the time. Brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, go on, Dave. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about communication levels and the customers, the engineers, the installers have become friends, and the communication levels can still continue via a video link and media, and social media. So keeping in touch with our pals from the industry, which is important to all of us.
And I think, yes, and someone, I can't remember who it was with Gareth, maybe earlier said about communicating with people, friends. I've been talking to people the last few days who I haven't spoken to, I wouldn't bother to pick up the phone to normally. And I just thought, do you know what? I mean, even one of my brothers, who I wouldn't speak to as normally as I am, but friends and so on, like living in New Zealand, for instance, I thought, do you know what? I need to talk to those people, see how they're doing and how they are. And it is remarkable. Does anybody else want to make a comment? Anybody else before we go? No, that's fine. Joe, you all right there? You happy?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I was going to say the social media side, all the WhatsApp groups with the installers have all been pretty fun while this has been going on. So that's Sean knows. So that's all. I
hope you haven't got
not much you can share, though. I mean, I'm guessing.
Oh no, that is still sacred.
Okay. Yeah, very good.
In the groups, and I hope it's not saving to your photo stream, Joe.
I think we better stop there. Look, Sean, Gareth, Dave, Graham, Tim, and Joe, look, thank you for your involvement. Thanks for coming onto this today.
Thank you.
And thanks for the judging and everything you've done. It's really important, I think, that we continue this awards, and it's great that we've had the opportunity to do this virtually. We don't want to just wait till December. And I guess, finally, so thank you to all of you. Stay safe. Please stay safe. And I guess, Joe, we should move on and see who the winners are of the Heating Installer Awards 2020. And so, having heard from our sponsors and judges, we now come to the awards that the judges have decided upon. And let's remember that everyone deserves some recognition, and it's been a tough year yet again for choosing the winners, and the judges were in virtual deliberation for a very long time. But if we're going to have awards, I think we need a bit of glamour. So just give me a second. Right, this feels a lot better. Okay, let's get on with it. I've got a number of envelopes here with the names of the winners in. Now, these were all sent to me in one large envelope last week, and so far I've resisted the temptation of opening them and having a look. We're going to start with the award for the most sustainable installer. The quality of all the shortlisted entrants was extremely high and really demonstrated the efforts that the installers are making to ensure they do everything they can to minimise the impact of their work on the environment, as well as providing the most environmentally friendly solutions to the customers too. Now, for anyone who hasn't already, you can read the full entries for all the installers shortlisted in this category as well as the other categories over at www.heatinginstalleраwards.co.uk. So without further ado, the shortlisted installers are Mark Partridge from Bright Green Renewables, Jonathan Mounsey from H2O Renewable Energy, Jonathan Coyle from Harvest Cornwall, Lachlan McInnes from McInnes Group, and Philip Barlow from Ribble Valley Heating. Now, as far as the winner is concerned, the judges commented on this person's clear and evident commitment to sustainability in everything they do, from growing their own food for team meetings and using recycled rainwater in their office, to the advice and sustainable service they provide their customers. So huge congratulations, this recognition is thoroughly deserved, and one of the team will be in touch with the winner very soon. So without further ado, I'm pleased to announce that the winner of the Heating Installer Awards first ever Most Sustainable Installer is Jonathan Coyle from Harvest Cornwall. Congratulations, Jonathan, and well done the rest of you for your nominations. Next, we move on to the Rising Star Award. Now, this award has been created especially for the industry's budding apprentices and in response to very high demand. It recognises all those heating installers who are still in training but are already working hard to achieve high standards and demonstrating real commitment to the industry. All the entries submitted have been carefully reviewed and scored by the judging panel of industry experts. The apprentices have also been required to complete a short response to scenario test, as well as work hard to drum up as many votes from family, friends and colleagues as they possibly can. The winner is the apprentice who has achieved the highest overall scores, calculated in equal parts from the judges' scores, scores to the response test and the public vote. The 5 apprentices who beat off stiff competition to make the final shortlist are Ryan Boyle, Samantha Older, Brian Summers, Ryan Carlton, Paul Palmer. The judges said that the winner showed a clear commitment to the trade and the industry, as well as the high quality of the entry and the obvious effort that went into it. And the Heating Installer Award for the Rising Star 2020 is Ryan Carlton. Massive congratulations, Ryan. You have another award to add to your growing list and collection. It looks like you've got a great career ahead of you, as the rest of you have as well. Well done to all the finalists. Finally, we move on to the big award, the national winner. The 9 regional finalists have all been working hard to drum up votes and complete a technical challenge, which was set for them by last year's winner, Tony Dumble. Their marks for that challenge have been combined with the judges' scores and the public vote to decide a runner-up and a national winner. All 9 regional winners have already received a great prize package from the sponsors, including products, vouchers, tools, branded merchandise and workwear. And of course, the national winner is set to receive even more great prizes, including a trip to Danfoss's HQ in Denmark, which we heard about from Sean, who earlier said it was immense. And if that isn't enough, the winner also receives a £300 gift voucher for a spa break for 2, courtesy of Glowworm. To recap, the 9 deserved regional winners are Philip Metcalf from the Northwest, Todd Glister from the Southeast, Matthew Stoves from the Northeast, Grant Gundelfinger from Yorkshire, Daljit Singh Rasuda from the Midlands, Stephen Calvert from Wales, Luke Towers from east of England, Stuart Sugden from Scotland, and Aaron Moore from the southwest. So I can now reveal that this year's final scores were closer than ever before, so hats off to everybody involved. But the installer who claimed the runner-up spot is, in the opinion of the judges, a fantastic achievement. The entry was top quality, and this person also proved particularly popular with the public. So those of you on social media have probably noticed this too. So I can now reveal that the heating installer of the year 2020 runner-up is Todd Glister. Congratulations, Todd. And now finally moving on to the top spot. The fantastic scores from the judges in the response to Scenario Challenge and with the public have claimed the winner, the top spot. And they've also bagged themselves a great prize bundle. Well done, a truly deserved award. I can now announce that the national winner for the 2020 Heating Installer Awards is Philip Metcalf from the North.